Hello everybody, welcome to another vlog in the month of August. One of my goals this month is to use what we have and try and get back with a better food organization moving into September and the fall months, just with trying to make a lifestyle change of, eating better, learning how to eat things in moderation and also portions and all of that. So we're preparing for that as we get into what I call the new year in September. So in my last video, you would have seen I made some small batch blueberry muffins. It was only 6 of them. Honestly, they were a lot better than I thought. So we each had one for breakfast this morning. So I just put them into this Pyrex bowl that I got from Costco. I really like it. So that will be breakfast again for tomorrow, just to kind of change things up. So that is what we're having. And I had a loaf of bread in the freezer, so I took that out. We're gonna actually have that for dinner tonight. And my plan for dinner tonight is club sandwiches, chicken and lettuce under bacon. So I took some bacon out of my freezer. I like to get this at Costco and take it out. And then in July, for Christmas in July, I cooked a turkey. So this one here is all full of white meat and this one is dark meat. So I'm going to take both of them out because I also want to make some oven. It's called fried rice, but you do it in the oven. So anyways, I'm planning for dinner tonight, but we're getting ready to enjoy our Sunday, and it's going to be a pretty quick, easy supper. But then I also want to prep a little bit for lunches for my husband and I for a couple of days. We had a great day and I'm ready to start dinner. So I get the bacon. I get the Greenfield bacon at Costco. I've been very happy with it. I put it on the 2 cookie sheets with parchment paper. I put it into the oven, 450 degrees, and sometimes it's 15 minutes, sometimes it's 20. I don't know. It's always different, maybe depending on how much fat's in the bacon, but I was very happy. There wasn't a lot of cleanup from this bacon. I just had to clean up the parchment. So there is the club sandwiches with the turkey that I made, the bacon, the lettuce, the cheese. And my husband was having potato salad. We're just having grapes, just keeping it kind of light. We had a little bit of a heavier lunch, and then this also cleaned a lot of items out for the freezer. So I just wanted to share that with you. I was going to make the fried rice tonight, but I just don't need it because we are going to have leftovers for lunch. It is now Monday morning, a new week, a fresh start. I cannot get over how fast this month of August is going. So we had our morning routine and everything, and then I was able to get a nice early dentist appointment. I just had a little cavity that needed to be fixed, so my mouth is frozen, but it's not too bad. And while I was waiting in the car to go in, I just did a brain dump on clothes. Especially for myself, I'm really going through like a transitional phase with what I like, what is my style, what do I need, and what do I keep and what do I get rid of. I think a lot of us go through all those different things with the changing of the seasons. So I just scotch taped this in, and then this morning as I was getting ready, I just did like a brain dump. So really what I did was I got everything that was kind of like running in my mind about the organization for the next couple of days for meals. I just kind of wrote it down. I have some ground beef in the fridge that I'm using. It was from HelloFresh last week because it just wasn't working anymore, and I changed the meal plan. So I'm going to use that to make spaghetti tonight, and then I'm going to freeze it. So I'll share with you trying to portion things out and all of that. For lunch today, there's 1 hot dog left, and I'm going to use that. And we have some wraps left, so I'm just going to use half of that as a bun. And then I'm going to make the fried rice, and that will use up the produce and clean off that turkey for lunches, and then also to freeze a container. And then tomorrow night, tomorrow's a busy day for me, so there's 3 sausage buns left, and at Walmart one time there was like Jack Daniel's, some pulled pork. It's just in the freezer. I bought the brisket one, and it's like 3 perfect serving sizes because it says like 1/3 of the package is the serving size. So that will be great for us for dinner tomorrow night. It'll be quick and easy. No leftovers. I don't want any leftovers. And then I'll take some of the potatoes I have and make some homemade French fries. And then my husband, peaches, he wanted peaches, and then they were good, and then they got really juicy and all of that, so they're in the fridge. So I'm going to make a crisp with them. But I was looking at recipes and I'm going to use my apple crisp topping that I use. I know it by memory, but I'm going to use the bottom, like from Sally's Baking Addiction, just to give a little bit more, to absorb the juices of the peaches. And then I have some English muffins. We opened it and then I made the blueberry muffins. And there's bacon left from our club sandwiches last night. So for breakfast for my husband and my son, I'm going to make them some breakfast sandwiches. That'll be nice, something a little bit different in the mornings, and that will clean up a lot of the stuff that I've used the last couple of days. And then I have my canned stuff out. So I don't have any fresh mushrooms, but I have 2 cans of sliced mushrooms. And then after this, I have nothing left. So that's always something to think about. So I think I'm going to use 1 for my spaghetti sauce and then maybe 1 for my fried rice. I'm not too sure about it. I usually use fresh, but I don't want to run out to the store. And I could have got some on the weekend, but I didn't. And then I have just a can of like petite diced tomatoes, green peppers, celery, and onion, a large can of tomato sauce from Costco. I only have a few left, so I want to use them up. And then I'll probably just buy another case, and then that will be good for going into the fall and winter. And then also a can of tomato paste. So we're going to clean up some pantry items, use up some pasta, and then also make some stuff to put in the freezer to use on a night that I don't want to cook. Sorry. So I have a pound of ground beef here, and then I threw in the rest of the onions that were chopped up from Saturday night from the hot dogs, because my husband said, "Do you have any onions?" I said, "Would you like some?" He said, "Yes." So I chopped them up, and then I knew I'd be able to use them, and then I threw a little bit of garlic in. So we're going to get this all cooked down before we add it into our sauce. I thought about getting my crock pot out, but you know what? Once I bring it up to a boil and let it simmer for about 15 minutes, I put the lid on the cast iron pan here and it keeps the heat. And I just find it so much easier to clean. It doesn't take up room on my counter space with the crock pot. So we're going to put this all in here. I'm going to slice up 1 more onion, this green pepper, and then this is the celery that I have. So we're going to use this for the spaghetti sauce and then also the fried rice. I am going to add a little bit more onion to it, and then I always keep the jarred garlic in my fridge, so I'm going to add a little bit of that too. I just love the convenience of it. And then I'm just going to add that to the ground beef. And I wanted to share a little bit too of just, getting back into the groove of dinners. There's some nights like tonight I want to have a nice home-cooked meal and, make the spaghetti and let it simmer all day and enjoy it. And there's other days where I just want to make dinner as quick and easy as possible. And I think that's one of the things is like you get caught up with like meal planning and this is what, our week's going to look like. But then sometimes you don't always take into, having extras or leftovers. And I know some people have a leftover night, but I just kind of like to take it a couple of days at a time. And instead of, taking my Sunday evening and making the fried rice, I knew that there was enough, for us to have for lunch on Monday. So now, I had a couple of things this morning. I have a couple of things this afternoon, but I have a couple of hours wiggle room on my schedule today. So I'm able to make the spaghetti sauce and then also go ahead and make the fried rice. And then I'm just cleaning up a lot of stuff because, I don't know, things accumulate, you forget about them or you have the best of intentions and then you don't always, do what you want to do. So it's a little bit of a catch up right now for the month of August. And I pretty much try and do the same thing for my spaghetti sauce. I try and use a can of either petite or crushed tomatoes. I use a can of tomato sauce and then I always add in tomato paste. I find it just enhances the flavor and it thickens up the sauce a little bit too. So I'm just doing this as the ground beef and everything cooks. So I'm just sharing how I quickly make a homemade spaghetti sauce.
Yesterday there was sun and there was rain, beauty in the mundane, and as the light startled our eyes, we let go of disguise. And now there's something in the air and a sparkly shimmer.
When I went for my walk before I started making the spaghetti sauce, I just kept thinking about I'm getting back into the beauty of the mundane. I'm getting back into doing all of those little daily tasks that keep my house flowing, that, make it easy when I have a busy day of getting dinner on the table. Well, when I was going through a lot of different things and then when I would come home, I would be like just overwhelmed with everything. And, you know, instead of changing out the, you know, the closets or the dressers and our clothing and all that, I just like would get the new season out and pile everything in. You know, instead of tackling that little bit of clutter that accumulated on the table, I would shove it into a bin, and then everything would get shoved into a drawer or a closet. And now when I open it up, I'm completely overwhelmed because I'm like, oh my goodness, like how do I get back to this? So I'd be trying to tackle all of these stuff that got away from me, but then I was still trying to tackle all of the everyday mundane tasks. So today, my priority is to get back into the kitchen, get back on top with my meal planning and my food organization, and then I'm tackling a few little things, you know, that I'm not sharing with you, but I'm trying to get back into the beauty of the mundane.
Restoring everything within. Oh, dreamy, breezy, we go. Easy, easy on our tiptoes. Undercover agents of the...
I didn't have any Italian seasoning, but I had onion and garlic in there, and then I added some parsley, some basil, and oregano. I might add a little bit of red pepper, but I'm just going to stir this all up, bring it to a boil, turn the heat off, and put the lid on and just let it sit. It's a couple of hours later. I've gotten a lot accomplished, and I was able to eat lunch. And there is the spaghetti sauce. So, like I had to put the oven mitt on to take the lid off. So once again, I'm gonna put this on, actually I'm gonna take the lid off. And I'm gonna bring this to a little bit of heat again because I'm gonna be in the kitchen, and then that way I can keep an eye on it. But I just find like the cast iron, I like the enamel covered, I just find it so much easier. I get mine at a store here in Canada called Canadian Tire. They go on for really great prices. I have been happy with the quality of it. I just don't love the color of the orange, but I find this works just as good as a crock pot, and I just find it so much easier to clean. I don't have to take it out and like have all the storage and all that. I know exactly where this goes. So it works for me, and I'm trying to figure out if I want to keep a crock pot or if it's time to say goodbye to it. So anyways, we'll just leave that alone. And now I am going to make this, it's called Chinese fried rice. So somebody was telling me one time about how they make this fried rice and they do it in the oven. And then I was going through this cookbook. It was a cookbook that my mother gave me because somebody she worked with, their church was selling them. So she bought them and I got it as a Christmas gift. And it has helped me a lot over the years. And I got the recipe for my baked beans here. I kind of make it my own, but I use that as guidance, and now I don't even need to get it out whenever I go to make them. And the rice, this is really great. I'll leave it here in case you want to pause it. I had an older video up of it, but I'm gonna redo it again for those of you that want it, but it's also really great for potlucks. So 2 cups of long grain rice and not cooked. I'm only going to use 1 cup. I'm going to try this with a smaller batch, and then it says 3.5 cups of lukewarm water. So I'm going to half the liquid. So half a cup of oil mixed with 1/4 cup of soy sauce. So we're going to half those, but then I'm going to try and keep the same, like I'm just going to use what turkey we have. I'm not going to use as much celery. I'm just going to use 1 red pepper, and I think I have some other peppers in the fridge, the green onions. I'm going to use the full thing of the onion soup mix, and then 1 can of mushrooms. So I'm going to go ahead and make this and share it with you, and I'm trying to figure out the right portion size. I have frozen this in the past, but I find like once you freeze it and then you go to heat it up, it gets very, very soggy. And this is one of the times where I wish I had a microwave to heat it up, because this would heat up so much better in a microwave than it would in a skillet. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and make this and see if this would really work into a food prep kind of rotation every once in a while. And I make this in a good old roast pan. This is what I was raised on. This is my smaller one, and I have a bigger one, and I used it whenever I cooked the turkey in July for Christmas in July. So that's what I'm gonna use. Cooks in the oven, 350 degrees for 1 hour. So I'm gonna go ahead, get my rice, get my liquids, and then we will get to chopping. Okay, as I was working away, I could hear this bubbling. So I'm just going to leave it. I'm going to turn it down right low, and then it will cook a little bit, and then when I put the lid, it will like kind of steam it and keep it cooking, and I just find that that works for me. I'm happy with the consistency and the texture, and then I have my secret ingredient to add a little bit later. I have the 1 cup of the long grain rice, and then 3.5 cups of lukewarm water. I just half that, and then the oil and the soy sauce mixture, I'd half that too. I just use the Great Value long grain rice. I used to buy the Uncle Ben's, but I find this works really well, and it's always a better price than the other stuff. Even when the brand name's on sale sometimes, it's not even as good of a price, and I don't have a problem with this. I just use vegetable oil. I just buy whatever store brand. And then I use soy sauce. You could use coconut aminos if that's what you use, but I prefer like the brand name, and I do the lower sodium one compared to the store brand. So there's some things I like the store brand, and then there's some things I like the brand name. So you just mix this all in, add that, add the onion soup mix. That's really boiling now. And I'm going to get this all cleaned up, and then we'll get everything out to chop, and then we'll just chop, add it all in, put it in the oven, check it in an hour, easy peasy. I really sorted a lot of different things in my mind that morning when I was going for my walk, and the night before I'm like, okay, I'm going to get home, and I'm going to get at the spaghetti sauce, and then I'm going to get at the fried rice. And I'm like, no, the spaghetti sauce I know that I need to make because I need to have it ready for dinner, but the fried rice can wait because I can't fit it into the evening if things don't go right. So I did the spaghetti sauce, then I took a break, then I did my laundry. I started to tackle some of the clothes and, doing a little bit of this. And I kind of like did a little bit. I was productive. I didn't get, everything done, but it was a starting point. And then, I ate lunch, I enjoyed it, and then I got the kitchen all cleaned up. And now I'm going to make the fried rice and actually enjoy the process of cooking and chopping. So while I was doing this, I'm like, oh, the house is so quiet. I want to listen to some music. So I decided to ask Alexa to play some Cody Francis music. I discovered this artist by looking for music for my vlogs. So this is the song that she played for me, and I thought I'd share it with you because that's exactly what I'm listening to as I'm prepping my fried rice for us to enjoy.
Hey darling, can I tell you what's been on my mind? Sick and tired of the 9 to 5 in the city life. Hey darling, we could get out of town, see the beautiful world around, wanna see it now. Our bags and get in that car, leave a little note and we'll drive real far. Let's get out, we can leave this city, let's drive to the open air. Yeah, the countryside is so pretty, with the wind blowing in your hair. We can look back someday, baby, don't you understand that we only get one life? I wanna make it count, honey. Come on now and take my hand. Hey darling, I love it when it's me and you, on the road with a couple of tunes in a car for two. Hey darling, you know we're gonna have a really good time, driving in the middle of the night when the stars are bright. Pack our bags and get in that car.
I love listening to music. I really find it helps me a lot with my moods, but on this particular day, I found like this Cody Francis music was exactly what I needed to hear. It was soothing, it was calming, it makes you listen to the words and kind of think a little bit, like just to kind of get my mind off of everything. So I hope that you enjoyed it. I'll link all of the song information down below if you want to check it out, but there is everything. I'm pretty sure this is going to turn out, so I'm going to put it into the oven, set the timer for an hour, and go get some more stuff done. It has been 50 minutes. I was working on closets, sorting out clothes and all of that. And I thought I better check on the rice because I'm not using as much rice as I usually do. And yeah, it's exactly what I thought. I find every time that I make it there's always more rice, and I want more like rice and vegetables. So I was kind of wondering if this would all work out, but I can smell it. It smells absolutely amazing. And, you know, I took leftover turkey, you know, I dumped some rice, you know, some liquids in here, and then I just chopped up all of the vegetables and added it in here. You know, it took me, you know, 5-10 minutes to do it, put it in the oven for an hour. This is what helps me. This is what makes sure when I have a busy morning, I have lunch, I could eat this cold or hot, and I'm very happy with it. So yeah, the 1 cup of rice, it went really good. I was even thinking about doing just a half a cup of rice, but that's what I'm trying to do, is figure out like my portions, how to cut back on recipes and all of that. And I'm just trying it on my own. So one of the reasons why I wanted to share this is because if it can help you get more comfortable in the kitchen or to experiment, you know, that's how you kind of figure things out. And, you know, if it gives you the motivation, that's great. But now, you know, I have lunches prepped for the next few days, that's for sure, and maybe even a dinner. So anyways, I am just going to put the lid back on this, let this sit. I got to head out the door. My spaghetti sauce is ready to go. Oh, I got one more thing that I want to do that's going to help me in the future. Before I head out the door, I got my kitchen scale out and a glass, and I put it on 2 ounces because, you know, trying to figure out what a serving size and everything, what I have read and what has worked for us is 2 ounces of pasta is a serving size. So I want 6 ounces to feed the 3 of us for dinner tonight, and I don't want any leftovers. So I have my kitchen scale out. Yeah, I'm touching the pasta, I'm putting it back. You know, it's part of, you know, the way I work in my kitchen. There's a Nona on TikTok, and her grandson got a t-shirt made and it says my hands are clean, and I always think about that whenever I see it. So anyways, there's my 6 ounces of pasta. When I come home, I can put it into the boiling water. I don't need to worry about it because I want to make a peach crisp. So I went to Sally's Baking Addiction, and I just wanted to kind of like get the filling, but I don't want all the sugar and lemon juice and all of that. And I definitely do not have 5 cups of peaches. And I wanted to, you know, kind of thicken it up. And then my apple crisp recipe from the church cookbook, this has become my go-to. I know it by heart. Rolled oats, brown sugar, you know, the flour, cinnamon, and I use 1/4 cup of oil. So I just wrote my topping down, and I don't need to think about it. Now I got to figure out what I'm going to do for the peaches. Now, the peaches were all over the place. Some of them were so juicy, some of them were really hard, some were sweeter than others. So I decided to add a tablespoon of sugar, and then I'm going to figure out what to do, and I think 2 tablespoons of flour will work. I don't want it to be too thick, but I don't want it to be too juicy. So that's what I'm going to do, and then I'm just going to go ahead and do my regular topping. I also could have froze these peaches and made a crisp later on in the colder months, but I wanted to make dessert. I haven't made it for a while, so 1/2 cup of flour. I'm actually going to try the crisp with 1/2 cup of brown sugar. I really don't feel like I need the 3/4 cup, so 3/4 cup of rolled oats is what I am going to do, and then a little bit of cinnamon, and I just use vegetable oil. 1/4 cup. I should have put a little bit more. I usually do. I just use the 1/4 cup initially, and then I kind of work it all in just to make sure that everything is wet. But I usually need a little bit more. So probably between like 1/4 cup and 1/2 cup. So what would that be? 1/3 cup maybe? Maybe that's what I should try. So next time I make it, I should write it down on that piece of paper. So that way I would know. Just sprinkle a little bit more cinnamon on the peaches. Into the oven, it's going to go at 350 degrees. Now, this is what my mom always added to her spaghetti sauce. It was the secret ingredient. I would love for my mom to make spaghetti sauce for me, but that's just not the way life is right now. So the good old Kraft Parmesan cheese. I was always like, how come I can never get it to taste like my mom's? It's the flavor of this. She would use this as a thickener too. So then I just stir enough in to kind of go visually, and that's good. So then as everything is cooking, the peach crisp is in the oven, my water is boiling, the sauce is coming to a simmer, the rice is cooled down. So the 1 container, I still have bacon in it that I got. So I have 3 of the ones that I got from Walmart and then 2 of the Pyrex. So I'm taking 1 cup and then trying to figure this all out. I don't really want more than 5 servings. I could possibly need 6. Yeah, we're going to eat this for lunch for the next few days, but that's okay. I don't need to worry about it. And that's one of the things is, I used up some produce. I cleaned up the turkey from the freezer. You know, I tried making a smaller batch of a recipe that I made, and I did get a lot accomplished. So I'm just going to get this spoon and just kind of balance this all out because there wasn't enough to have 6. So we're going to go with 5. So I need to make some notes in my little brain dump book and, you know, come up with a game plan so I know for the future, because I don't want to be writing everything in that cookbook. So anyways, I'm just going to put the lids. They're going to go into the fridge. I don't need to worry about lunch for the next couple of days. I know what's for dinner the next night. And then I took the peach crisp out. It smells really good. It crisped up really nice, but I think a little bit more oil would have been perfect. So I'm going to try the 1/3 of a cup. So there's the sauce simmering away, thickening up with the Parmesan cheese. And then we're just going to have the pasta. So once the pasta was cooked, I drained it. There it is. So now I'm taking my soup ladle and I'm seeing how much I need to add in here. So I'm thinking about 2 would be really good. So I'm just going to take my tongs and mix it all up. And then I'm like, oh, you know what? It's going to need a little bit more. And there's a reason why I'm trying to do this. So then once this is all mixed in, I put everything into the 3 plates, equal portion. 2 ounces was perfect. This was delicious. In the past, I would have like garlic bread and Caesar salad and just way more than what we needed. We just want to enjoy spaghetti sauce. So for our son, I take the scissors and cut it all up and he's able to eat it. Really easy. And it's one of the things that we worked on with different textures. So dinner was delicious. Now it is time for dessert. This wasn't as juicy as I thought it was going to be. It was really good. I was glad that I made it. You know, I'm experimenting in the kitchen and trying to figure everything out. But we had some peach ice cream in the freezer that I wanted to use up. There was just enough to put on here. And it cleaned this out. It was starting to get a little bit freezer burn. Just kind of a nice treat. We do not eat like this every day, but it's okay once in a while. And today was that day. And I'm going to enjoy it. So that was really good. And now I want to break down my spaghetti sauce. So I'm going to put 2 ladles into each container. There's Hunter behind me. So that way I know when I go to make this is going to feed the 3 of us. No leftovers. Maybe a little bit more, but that's okay. So that was why I was kind of taking a mental note of how much, you know, sauce I was putting in to go with the 6 ounces. So the dishwasher was done. I didn't get it emptied, so I'm just going to go ahead and get that spoon, scrape everything out of here, and then put this into the freezer. So on a night when I don't feel like cooking or it's a really, really busy day, I go to my freezer, I pull out this container, cook 6 ounces of pasta, and there's a perfect dinner for the 3 of us with no leftovers. So there you go. I love doing this. This is like my mom, that was the only time she ever froze anything with spaghetti sauce. And here it is today. Like, I'm getting back into the groove of everything. Like, I feel like I'm on top of it. I got lunches made, you know, we're doing it. I'm getting back there. And that's the thing. If you're in a place where you're feeling overwhelmed, do a brain dump and just start doing a little bit at a time.